Hi everyone, I'm Bihan Chakraborty and today I'll be discussing LeetCode's 532 number problem, that is k different pairs in an array. So this is LeetCode's February challenges day 9 problem, and it's a medium level problem that can be solved using hash maps. So here we have been given an array of integers and an integer k, and what we need to find are like k different, like we need to find pairs of num of I and num of j. Like we need to find pairs of numbers whose absolute difference equals to k. Okay, so this is the formula: absolute of nums I minus nums j equals to k, and we need to find unique pairs. That means we don't need to find the total pairs. Okay, so suppose I have one, like suppose I have 1 comma 1 2 comma, let's see, 1 comma 2. Okay, so if I have this and k equals to 1, then 1 minus 2's absolute is 1, and also this one and this 2 makes 1. Okay, so both of them makes 1, so the total number of pairs is 2, but we need to find unique, so the answer would be 1. Okay, so because if you check the pairs are 1 and 2, and the other one is also 1 and 2. Okay, so we need to avoid this, we need to consider just one element. So that is one observation here, and let's see the code here. Okay, so this is a new hash map, and this is my answer variable which will store the total number of like all the unique pairs. And now I'm like increasing the frequency of all the numbers in the array inside the hash map. So this increments the numbers value. Okay, so it is my key here, and I'm incrementing the value by 1 whenever I find a duplicate. So this is the incrementing statement, and here this is the main algorithm. So for every element in the hash map, like notice this is not the array, I'm looping the hash map because I'm looping only the unique elements, because I don't need the repeating elements. Okay, I'm just going through the unique elements, and I'm checking if k equals to 0. Now if k equals to 0, there's only one possibility, that nums I equals to nums j, right? Because if this is not the case, then nums I minus nums j cannot be 0, right? Whether we do absolute or not, that doesn't matter here, we need them to be equal. So what I'm checking is that if that element's frequency is greater than 2, that is, suppose I have numbers 1 comma 2 comma 3, then some a lot of more numbers, then I have another 3. Okay, so if my k is 0, k equals to 0, then I need duplicate numbers, right? So if I get like for 3 the frequency is 2, so if I get to this 3, I can use this 3 to like increment the count, right? So if I have another 2, so I can use this 2 and this 2, so to make one pair, and 3 and 3 to make another pair, to get k equals to 0, right? So I'm checking if the frequency of that number is greater than equals to 2. And now why it's not equals to 2, or I'm not checking whether it's 3 or 4, because if there are 3 3s, I cannot make pairs, right? Because I need to check unique pairs. So because these 3 will go with this 3, and this suppose this 3 is going with this 3, and this 3 is also going with this 3, but we will consider only one element. So it doesn't matter how many repetitions are there in there, if it is greater than equals to 2, that is, if it is 2 or more, that means I can have only one unique pair through that number. So I'm just incrementing the counter, the answer, by 1 only. Okay, so I don't need to check anything else here. Now what if k is greater than 0? If it is not equals to 0, then I'm checking whether my hash map contains my current key plus k. Okay, so here if I what is the formula? Nums I minus nums j equals to k. So I can write it as nums I equals to k plus nums of j, right? So if I am at the ith element, I can search whether there's k plus num j in the hash map. Okay, so if there's anything inside the hash map, then I can like take that and subtract to get k. Okay, so this for using this formula. Okay, to make this line valid, I just need to find this one, right? So if I get this one, then I can say I satisfy this equation. So that is what I'm searching for. At any given element, I'm searching whether that element plus k belongs somewhere. Okay, so let's consider this example. 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, let me clear it. And k equals to 1. K equals to 1. Okay, so let me zoom in. Yeah, so here starting from here, first of all I'm adding the frequencies. So how many ones are there? 1 is 1 time, let me write it quickly. Okay, so all the elements are repeated only once. So now what are the possible pairs I can make? I can make 2 minus 1 equals to 1, 3 minus 2, 4 minus 3 and 5 minus 4. There's nothing else which I can use here, right? So now if this is my hash map right now, I'm checking if k equals to 0, that will never be true. Okay, so now I'm moving here. If k is greater than 0, I'm at 1, I'm checking if I have the element that is 1 plus k, that is also 1, that is 1 plus 1 equals to 2. So I do have one element, that so I increment the counter by 1. Okay, so I have 1 in my answer. Now moving to the second element 2, I'm checking if I have 2 plus 1, that is 3 in the hash map. So I do have, so I again increment it. At 3 I get 3 plus 1 4, at 4 I get 4 plus 1 5. So my answer is 4. So at 5 I don't get anything because 5 plus 1 doesn't make sense. Okay, I mean it's not present in the hash map, so we don't do anything there. So that is the problem here. And now one can argue that like why I'm checking it get key plus k and not k minus it dot get key. And that is because suppose I am at 3. Okay, so what do I check? 3 plus 1 I check for 4, right? So 3 plus 1 is 4 and that is valid. But at 4 I am not checking whether 4 minus 3 is there or 4 minus 1 is there. That is because I am always checking that in the previous element. Because suppose I am at 3, I am, since from the starting elements, since I am moving from left to right, I am always checking whether the lower element plus k equals to greater element. If that is present, we don't need to check greater element minus k equals to lower element, because that is already done while I was at the lower element. So that is the problem here. And if you have any doubts or questions here, please comment down below. And if you have liked my video, please like it and subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next video.